Okay, I'm gonna record again. So I'm gonna try to get the rest of these done. There's a lot in these, so um, this is gonna be recording 582. Okay, so I also want to mention back when, for those of you guys who are my age, Gene crashing Tower Records. That was also intentional because that was no coincidence. I watched a really, really cool documentary on Tower Records. And I know Tower Records was really huge, I believe, in Japan. But it just goes to show that goes to this too. So, and no, Gene, you're not going to turn around and blame Japan. So anyway, that goes to this. You could probably do the math and the dates and all that, and you can see that it's linked to Gene's future plot of doing the World Trade Center attack. Also, recently she said in my brain, she's pretending like she's FBI and she's pretending like she's a cop, and she's got all kinds of people like working for her, and they use AI voice modulation, and they pretend to be black and they pretend to be Latino, and then they send their people out into the street, into the community. What I mean by that is just like out in the public, and then they spread lies, okay, because she wants to manipulate and harness and control brown and black people. And it's very bad here in Tulsa, and I've tried to tell people, you guys are being lied to by freaking Charles Manson people. They are white people. They're white Satanist supremacists, and they're using stolen AI, and they're trying to wow you with razzle dazzle with AI that they stole. She's also got celebrities that she's lied to and conned and hustled, and then she hides underneath them as there's some blanket of protection for her, okay? And she claims that she owns a city and she can do what she wants. And I've heard in my brain celebrities, also the military, because she has forced some people in the military, and I've already went through all that and all the recordings with you. So I'm just telling you like recent updates of what she's saying or what they're saying. And they're saying they're not going to be doing Gene Roberts con much longer. They're tired of it. Gene Roberts and her Manson occult need to be arrested. She's not going to take over every city. She's not going to do this. She's not going to destroy the government. She's not going to get away with any of it. They're tired of it. They're angry. It's sickening to them to find out, to know everything that's going on, and to know everything that she's done, and then they're forced underground, and also some people above ground, into doing her country breakdown hijacking crap. And so people are irritated and angry, and celebrities are also equally as angry. So they've been conned, they've been hustled. So you've got to be like Spanish people, okay? My family is Spanish and my family is black, okay? Spanish people that know what's going on and black people that know what's going on make it their business to find out everything that's going on, okay? So if you don't know what's going on and you're being tricked somehow into doing this sick con to cover up for some white woman who claims she's literally like Jesus Christ superstar, when she is the one who committed these crimes with her Manson occult, I mean, you got to stop, and you got to stop and think, and then like go talk to people that you know and trust. And definitely go talk to older people. Because people aren't going to steer you wrong. You're being conned and hustled by Jean, who is an occult leader and has been the leader of Charles Manson since the 60s. She is a professional con artist. So you cannot be taken in by her. So anyway, let me go back to this. So, all right, so she said in my brain, she got pissed because I found out that, and it's already in the previous recordings that I did, I found out decoding, I was looking for the crime, I decoded it in Oklahoma City. And I watched a documentary on it, and I decoded it, and it was like 3 or 4 pages long. And it was a famous Mexican, I can't even remember if it was Mexico now, but I think it was Mexico. A really famous Mexican singer, and he was fraudulently charged with a crime he didn't commit, and he's somebody that's treasured and loved all over Mexico, and then he was killed. And I think his sister is, I'm like, I decoded so much of it, and all I keep seeing in my brain is him and another girl. And I think it's like a family member of his, and I think they were killed. Okay, so when I was watching the documentary on TV, instantly I could see that Gene Roberts took this man's life. So instantly I started decoding it. And I decoded like 3 or 4 pages of it. And then when I got here, I can't remember the name of the singer's name. I just know he's really, 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 really famous. And it was a really big deal, like O.J. Simpson big deal in Mexico. But anyway, Jean is the one who committed that crime. And as soon as I decoded it in Oklahoma City, she ran off with it offline to people. I could literally feel her in my brain watching me decode, like she's slobbering, waiting to go run off and go lie to people. And I know she stole it and went and tried to butter herself up to people who would never let her get away with any of this anyway. Okay, another thing that she does that I've heard her say is that, you know how in the United States she pretends to be Beyonce? She claims she's Beyonce all the time. Okay, so she does that using AI technology. She always does overlays. She pretends she's everybody that she's not, and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so in Mexico, when I lived in Slidell, I was at work, and people wanted to know if she took Selena's life. And so I looked up Selena, and I could instantly see that she took Selena's life. But I didn't write it down, and I didn't decode it. And I knew the people that were on just wanted to know. I know Selena's death broke people's hearts everywhere. And so it was like when I was in, I believe in Galveston, I went down there on vacation, and there is a statue of Selena down at the Sea Walk or at the boardwalk. And I was standing far off from the statue, and I could see all kinds of people around the statue, and I could see beads and flowers and everything all around the statue. And I was like, who is that? Who is that? And I'm like, what's going on? And then I get closer and I realize it's Selena. And I'm just like taken aback. And this is like years and years and years and years later. And I bet you if you go to Galveston today, it is still the same way. I mean, people love Selena. So anyway, I didn't write it down. I didn't write any of the decode down because the people that wanted to know got the answer. They know that Jean took her life. Now, since then, since I've been here in Tulsa, she was talking to her people in that same kind of realm where she knows she wants me to hear what she's saying, but she's talking to someone else. And she's pulling the stunts that she's pulling here in the United States You know what her con involves. I've already explained her vulgar activities. She in Mexico is claiming to be Selena. Now, I don't know if she's like splitting her time. I don't know if she has people that she's talked into running her con with her that are hiding there, that are Manson women. I don't know how she's getting it done, but I know that she's claiming that she's Selena. And what does that involve? It involves what I already told you. So for her to do that to Selena, to Selena's family, to do that to Mexico, this is just more of the reasons why Gene Roberts needs to be arrested. So I wanted to mention that. So anyway, here in Tulsa, so I had just decoded, that was like last week, and I had finally got out, and I got it recorded. It was another singer that I found out that she took the life of, and how she got in the way. She ran the racket, like she committed the crime. She created the disgruntledness between the two people, the two groups of people. So she created the crime, and then when action went to take place, she's the one that committed the action, and then she runs in and acts like the hero when she ran the whole racket. So it's her total invasion and trying to control Mexico. And like the cartel told me, this is bigger than the cartel, because you're talking about the nation. You're talking about Mexico. For her to think that she can do that is obscene, and their anger is at obscene levels. So here in Tulsa, she thinks she controls. She literally said in my brain, she goes, "Oh my God," this is how she said it. She goes, "Oh my God, we're going to lose the streets. Oh my God." And she was mad because I just made reports against her. She wants people to be doing everything she tells them to do, because she wants to be masterminding and controlling people, like puppet mastering people, using her stolen AI to robotically control people and also face-to-face manipulate and con people. I mean, that's ridiculous. And she was really pissed. She was in my brain throwing a fit. She was like, "Oh my God, we're going to lose the streets." So I wanted to let you guys know that she said that. So changing the subject. So you guys know that underneath Amarillo is Smithtown, okay? All right, so going back in time, AIW, okay, so another memory of mine is driving through the panhandle of Texas. Anytime I drive to Arizona from Oklahoma, I'm like, kill me now. Like, I can't wait. I love Arizona that much. I can't wait to get to the mountains. So I'm like, it's all flat land, and I'm like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, mountains. And then when you can see the mountains starting to rise, like when it starts to get more hilly, I start getting excited. And then when I hit the mountains, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like all excited because I've got mountains all around me again. So anyway, I just want to mention this is crazy, because it's like me eating my words, because I hated driving through Amarillo. Amarillo was like one highway. If you're lucky, tumbleweeds, and I'm talking about, what is that, like I-44? I think that's what it is. If you're lucky, tumbleweeds. It's just like, there's nothing there. Amarillo's huge now, though. But this is like back in the day. But anyway, I'm like, there's nothing there. I'm like, can we be in Arizona already? There's nothing here. And so it's me eating my words in the future, because I find out Smithtown is underneath Amarillo. And that is what Alice in Wonderland is based off of, is Highway 27, which runs through there. So it's right underneath Amarillo. So I wanted to talk about that. And then also I wanted to bring up back when, which I want to bring this up because this is probably still going on today. So back when I was in my meth addiction, okay, I noticed them, and this is in the middle, this is after 2016, okay, and I was living on 32nd Street. I was like, everything was starting to go wonky and weird, like, and she pre-planned for my life to start spiraling downhill in 2016. I mean, this has been pre-planned even before I was born. So this is at the very, very, very beginnings of it, okay? So anyway, I noticed that when people were coming over to my house, they would open their phones, okay? And then they would have games open on their phones. And then I was like, every time so-and-so's around, there's a freaking pool game open. Or every time so-and-so's around, there's a casino game. It's always games open. All right? So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So then I started like paying attention to when, like, it's like when there's activity going on. And you know, today Jean likes to put on her, you know, her surveillance cameras, where she likes to put on her razzle dazzle shows, trying to gallivant, having everything in silence, and going, what is Christina saying? What is she talking about? Where she makes fun in the back end and makes up total lies, and they'll sit back, thinking they're getting away with the whole damn crime, lying their asses off to everyone. Her little Sharon Tate charade shows she puts on. So anyway, I'm like, this is the same thing going on, but back then. So I'm noticing like really weird stuff is going on. So then my ex-husband, he's safe to yell at. He'll just get mad and yell at me back. So he had his phone open, and then it had a game on it open, and he like set it down on purpose in front of me, like I was talking about something. I was talking about like computer programming or something stupid. But anyway, I was like, I had it, it wasn't my phone, it was his phone, and he had it set down, and he purposely like set it down with the game open in front of me. Like, he purposely did that. And then I'm like, what are you fucking doing? And I went to grab his phone, and then he got really fucking pissed. So I'm like, what's up with this game? What are you doing? And he's like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. And then he got pissed. And then I'm like, okay, well, my question's answered. Something's up with when the games are open on these phones. So come to find out, there's some kind of recording app that's turning on recorders on phones that's hiding behind certain apps that you download on phones. And so it's all run by criminals that are all connected to Jean. Because I'm talking, these are all druggies. I was a druggie. He was a druggie. Hopefully he's clean now. All running game. And then they spread it out into the population. Do this. Convincing people to do some criminal ass shit. So I just want to let you know that there's something going on with her having apps on phones, which is hiding behind games on the phones, and it's her style to hiding in plain sight. So, okay, also want to mention, okay, speaking of bridges with Nostradamus, see all code on that. Also, look what she did to Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey. the bridge to nowhere. So she did that to him also. Then also in kindergarten, remember I told you about the library book that I had, the 1, 2, 3, 2, the zoo? Something else to add to that, the library, that goes to her Libel racket. Her future Libel racket. So that would be, and that also connects to Tucson, and then it also connects to the San Diego Zoo. So what you would have to do is, I went to Los Ranchitos Elementary. So you guys know Ranch, Barker Ranch is Charles Manson. No, it's not in Tucson, but everything she does, well, you're talking to the CIA, so of course they know what you're talking about. Anybody else that would be listening that needs distraction with lies is probably somebody that's going to go to jail. No, you're not lying. I'm saying they turn your words into lies, Christina. So anyway, that connects to the San Diego Zoo. So you would do the math, and then you can do the future plan, or you can connect the math in time. So those are going to link together, and then that also linked to not only the future of me going and moving to New Orleans, but also sooner to the future of me and my boys moving to Oklahoma, and that would connect to Susan, which would be Susan Atkins. So now I'm back up here looking at 1, 2, 3, 2, the zoo. And then it's all references to Animal Farm and all of that. She does this whole Animal Farm theme. See all the recording, see all the code. Okay, so all right, so jumping ahead. Okay, so I wrote this down, and I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. When I first found out, I was like, oh my God, thank God for small blessings. So I realized, okay, when I lived in Slidell, by decoding, that the word AY, okay, you know how AY is at the end of like Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, it's the AY at the end of any word, like day. Okay, Jean has been using since the beginning of time the letter A to stand for the word and she's been using the letter Y to stand for the word seen. Okay, so I've decoded a lot of her Charles Manson ciphers by replacing the A with the word and replacing the letter Y with the word seen. Okay, and if you put and seen together, it's dancing, DANCING. Okay, so, and then she has seen, and then scent, and then she had her daughter-in-law selling Scentsy. Oh my God, she ice ripped the hell out of her daughter-in-law. But anyway, but you guys know all that, so you know everything she's done, so I'm not traveling back down the road of what Jean has done, because everybody's well aware of what Jean Roberts has done. So I'm going back to focus on this. So anyway, in all these ciphers that I've decoded, her Charles Manson Crypt ciphers, I've decoded a lot of crime just by doing those letter exchanges. And so I've been like scorned, and I'm like, I don't know what the word maybe scarred with the word and for years now. Like, I try to use the replacement word of also, and then people told me when I was in Oklahoma City, well, you can't use also either, because also, that's her again saying this is a communal Charles Manson thing. She's got every word tore up. Even they said, even the ampersand, which you learned when you were in Slidell, everybody figured out the ampersand was one of the little Ku Klux Klan symbols that they used. And this is before everybody realized this was Charles Manson, but the Ku Klux Klan obviously has been using those symbols too. Now, since then, people have just like kept it to themselves, but I try, and I'm like, try not to use the ampersand, and then her people come on, they love to do the devil's advocate. They're freaking sick. They mess with your freaking head. They're like, we did this to you. Now look at this. What are you going to do about this? They do this. Okay, so she got in my head with her people, and she goes, well, what about R&B? There's an ampersand in that. And like, she's trying to upset me. Like, I'm upset about finding out all of this. And then she's trying to upset me even more because she knows how much I love R&B and hip hop. You know, she's like, what are you going to do about it? Like, in my brain with her white supremacist ass and her nasty ass people. And they still do that to this day. They're freaking white fucking supremacists. So anyway, in my brain, I'm like, and this is before that I knew it was Jean and her Manson occult talking to me. I thought it was the freaking Ku Klux Klan, which it was Ku Klux Klan and Charles Manson, because Jean is in the Ku Klux Klan. Jean is the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, and also the leader of the Illuminati, and also the leader of Charles Manson. So anyway, I'm like, how do you rectify that in your brain? She's like taking pure pleasure and joy in it, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. So I just shove it down, and I'm like, you just have to, like I was told by African Americans that were on, you just have to you go about your normal life business. You know something that everybody doesn't know, and if she tries to attack you with it, like throwing ands in your brain or tormenting you with music that you love, where you're receiving the torment and everybody else is receiving her love and adoration because she's using the hell out of them. You just go about your business and keep figuring everything out, because people that commit crime like that don't get away with it. So anyway, I just like kept it to myself and I ignore it. Okay, so with the word and, I'm like, in my brain, and I'm like, well, everybody says Adam and Eve. And is in the Bible. How can I remove and from Adam and Eve? Like, I don't want to use the word and. I've seen and decoded so much murder that Jean has committed, I don't want to even see the word and. So that I finally got within the past couple of years, I wouldn't even say within the past couple of years, I would say within the past year, I have finally gotten where I can just use the word and. And she knows I still have like the trauma associated with it, with knowing all the crimes she's committed with it, and she sits in my brain with her Manson occult and takes pure pleasure in it, and I just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? I'm already turning her in, so I just ignore her attacking me in my brain like that. So anyway, somebody showed me this like last week or so, and I was like, oh my gosh. They showed me Adam and Eve, and then they showed me how the word and breaks down in Adam and Eve. They figured it out. She's like making me burp. I'm telling you, these are Satanists that are attacking me. It is Jean Jernigan Roberts and her Manson occult, and she's saying that her little Satanist buddy figured it out. No, he didn't. Because I'm one of the people that talks to Christina all the time, and I am not that person. I don't even know that person. I know that person should be in jail somewhere, but Jean has him off doing whatever she orders, or freaking jobs or whatever, her and her Satanist freaking ring. Anyway, so okay, so looking at the word AY with Genesis, so if you're looking at Adam and Eve, this is really cool. So this is everything that I decoded out of this. So there's marry in it, there's give your hand in marriage in it, there's hand in it, there's match in it, there's starry eyes in it, and then their word eyes, like the nose and the yays, the eyes, and then there's starry C in it, and then again, referencing Gurnee, Illinois, and then C all code on Adam and Eve, and then Gurnee is also journey, and then that's where Ahoy comes from Adam and Eve in Genesis. So it comes from Noah, and it comes from Adam and Eve. And then the hand of God is in it. Eve is in it. Noah is in it. And then again, God is making reference in Adam and Eve to what I decoded about my hands, or not my hands, but all humanity's hands. You'll have to see my other audio, my other recordings. But God created our hands perfectly. Like, it's astounding. Like, they're perfectly designed. Like, we're supposed to have the digits that we have on our hand. Our palm is supposed to be the way that everything about our hands is perfect. It's supposed to, it's purposely, intentionally, he purposely and intentionally designed our hands this way. So anyway, there's something when I decoded, there's a whole bunch that I decoded about our hands, okay? And so this goes more with that. So talking about, God talks about in Adam and Eve, what he was angry about. Now, Jean will tell you every nasty, vulgar lie that she's ever come up with all of her life. She's filthy. But what I figured out by decoding, I ignored Jean's lies, and I figured out on my own, and it's exactly what God said, is that you should be working because there's earth to build. It's not a time for rest. You rest when I tell you to rest. You work when I tell you to work. And they got in a huge amount of trouble for that. So, and then that goes into more of when God is talking in the Bible about the fruits of your labor. What kind of fruit are you producing? What are you doing with your hands? Are you producing good fruit, or are you producing bad fruit? What are you doing? So all that goes into more of his parables, or where he's trying to teach you, you know, your hand, the answer is right inside your hands. Physically. It can't get any more simple than that. So anyway, also inside this is, inside Adam and Eve, also in Genesis, is forgive your enemies. And then what's really precious, and I do know that she took Mother Teresa's life. I do know that she took Gandhi's life. I decoded it. I love Mother Teresa. See all code. So Mother Teresa's poem is one of my favorite poems of all time, which is Anyway. And I see that's where she got the word anyway, is right here from Genesis. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Also, the Sistine Chapel is in this, and then a reference to the tine, the fork, and then see all code on fork. I did a massive amount of decode on fork tines and hay. Probably about, I would say, like total, probably about like 3 pages. I would say I've got it all scattered everywhere. Like I've got some here and some there. But I did a major amount of decode on fork tines. And also numbers. That also goes to this. So, that's in there. So, and then also I wanted to bring up, just something to share with you, which is completely precious. And the video, I can't believe it. She's got Tanya Tucker in red and black. Like, I'm supposed to look back in time to when Mario and I first got married, and then Now today, so I go back AIW, and then I go back in time. I figure all this out, and I realize that she's got people held in captivity underground. Because remember, I told you in some of the Abajos underground, everything is red and black. That's the color of everything. So anyway, so Tanya Tucker, so she sang this song, and it's always reminded me of my first husband, and it's called Two Sparrows in a Hurricane. And then I was able to decode the song personally, because it was literally like about Mario and I's life. Like a lot of people out there, young love. But I was literally able to decode this in reference to the Holy Bible. This song is really about Adam and Eve. It's literally a story about Adam and Eve. It's precious, but it's put in like a modern day melody. Another song that is like that is Tim McGraw, Don't Take the Girl. And another song that is like that is Earth Angel. All those songs are about Adam and Eve. They're precious. And it makes the Bible come to life. Because you see Adam and Eve, and it's telling the true story of what happened with Adam and Eve, but you see it in a modern light. So you go back and you can really relate to that. So it's very, very, very precious. So also another method of her terror attacks that she's using today, running her con, is I used to say when I used to teach, okay? Gene Roberts has a teaching fetish. So my whole career and everything was controlled. My whole life was controlled. So of course, everything I do is everything that she's into, okay? So anyway, I keep the blessings of my career, but it still makes me angry because she literally like controlled me and my family my whole life. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I keep all the good and I still turn in Gene. So anyway, one of the things I used to say when I was teaching computer technology was I used to say, tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Because that makes it resonate with someone. So she is using that today as a means to attack with. In a whole Groundhog Day, Alice in Wonderland, she's the criminal, she commits the crime, she has her little projection plot, see all code, and I'm her punching bag. So she like is getting gratification, and you know the kind of gratification she's getting out of it. She commits the crime, and then she punches me for the crime she committed. So what does that do? That alleviates, and that gives her more room to do what? Commit more crime, make more money. Then she gets all her friends to join. Let's just gang. Let's just do a gang pile, and everybody punches shit out of her. Isn't this fun? So she's using that method too. So she's taking something that's used for good and she's using it to commit evil on the planet with. I'm not the only one suffering. All I gotta do is make reports and turn her in. But she's stalking the hell out of she's sucking the hell out of a lot of people, and she's hurting a lot of people, and there are a lot of people gone now, and no one is arresting her. It's a huge problem. So, okay, okay, another thing I wanted to bring up. So, this is a group of people that are in her Charles Manson occult. So, when I had my suicide attempt in Tulsa, I had two of them. One was in Tulsa and one was in Dallas. Okay, Dallas, Texas. The one here in Tulsa, okay, that was ICE event. She did that. She should be charged for attempted murder. I'm not even kidding. She's using artificial intelligence on me and everyone I know. So, anyway, they were so proud of themselves. When I ended up going to the hospital, I was on a stretcher, and that was just after my suicide attempt. I was on a gurney too, like the stretcher, the gurney, and they were trying to get me up into the ambulance. And her Charles Manson occult pulls up in a white SUV, and I see off in the distance, like probably not even a football field away, they're all standing outside the car, all just proud of themselves. They think they literally killed me. Just proud as hell, every single one of them. Those people are all in Charles Manson. Those people have all been helping Gene Roberts commit all these crimes. And no, I don't know who they are because they're too far away for me to see. Okay, so also there was a VARIG flight 717 that experienced uncontained engine failure leading to a loss of control and a subsequent crash on January 25th, 1996 in Brazil. Most of the 201 people aboard did not survive. The investigation concluded that a faulty engine was the cause. Okay, this is another plane crash that Gene committed. So in this, I decoded out the phrase very beautiful. Then also in it is GIUNET, ENGIUT, and then also see this links to Nostradamus. And then this also links to another crash that she committed, Air France Flight 447, which is one of the deadliest accidents in Air France's history. And this also connects to another airplane crash she committed, Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX 8, that crashed in Indonesia, killing 189 people. So she committed those terror attacks also. You can go back and research them and you'll see instantly that she committed those attacks. So I'm going to end this recording here.